Mike Gill and Qrash.
Hello.
We're, we had a discussion this morning and we moved to what we had planned because this was too important not to get out.
Something
And
caught
what,
our eye on Twitter. Something caught your eye. Remember the tweet?
yes,
Yeah.
something I've been watching for a long time and suspected. For instance, General Flynn needs to change the narrative. But the players have to still stay the same. You still have an Anagos cartel. You still have exposing the money laundering network. It's who and what he's leveraging and using for blackmail it. But in this scenario, how is it that General Flynn, who stands on money laundering in Ukraine just even recently and child trafficking and who's done absolutely bullshit, he needs a win. Now he has my evidence, and they're moving forwardly on all of this because, again, it's all the way in. So let's see how it would move. And we've had different ideas of the title of immovable object and the Flynn spin, but that's where we are. And listen, if I put all these pieces together and we're going to talk through them with evidence, absolute evidence. You're reading, you're seeing evidence, you're seeing the movement, and you're seeing the unlikeliness of it not being connected.
Right. It all seems to connect.
And listen, and that's when you know you're right. When you turn around and keep finding pieces, and Qrash will tell you, as you've been doing this now, you notice all of a sudden a piece will come clear or are evident. And then you put it back into all those other thoughts that you had, and you say, okay, it fits there, it fits there. And when it completely fits each and every time, for 19 years, you get an idea in the picture. So let me step through, and I'm telling you, and the reason why we did this, I don't know when they're going to pop this. I get the feeling we're still in a period of negotiation. You
Right.
got the Flinster out there. You got the DOJ trying to sell his ass. You got Trump trying to sell his ass. And it seems like you're not buying it for good reason. You'd have to believe them or your lying eyeballs, right? So what's the deal? What's the plan? How do you change it? Now let me give, and I know it's my evidence. I mean, who paced me down more than Flynn and the DOJ and O'Keefe? So let's take you back to these moments in time where I was working with O'Keefe and Day, caught them selling off my evidence to the cartel, to Bill Shaheen, cutting deals to put Sununu as governor. The deals were made here and then. So what's going on now? So let's step through a few of these pictures. All right. So where has our Raiklen gone? Hit it, Qrash. Raiklen, the right-hand man of the evil witchnik Flynn, is in New Hampshire frequently. And that's him at an event, inside outside with Aaron Day. A coincidence? I think not. Raiklen wanted to meet with me multiple times. I've shown those text messages. He called me. He had no comparison to me in the corruption in New Hampshire. And he's right. Okay, Qrash, but he's Flynn's right-hand man. And if they're going to connect with that money laundering, it was Aaron Day working with O'Keefe. There's the Flynn O'Keefe again, infiltrating me. That's the DOJ into the state of corruption operation. Now, the interception. Why is Raiklen in New Hampshire? Because that is the Pandora box. Is how you leverage and blackmail and control politics. Now, next picture. Let's keep going through this, right? So Raiklen's in New Hampshire. You've got to be asking yourself why. Because that's where the money laundering network is. That's what I found. That's Aaron Day. Now, what did I get? I get a message to go to Epoch Times, speak to the bureau chief, Washington bureau chief, Stephen Gregory, about blowing up this Pandora's box that I have, just coming off of Lullen from the United States Department of Justice in Boston, with the evidence sent to Washington. And now I'm in Washington, D.C., meeting Howley. I met this little Gregory. Gregory turned around, wrote Howley's name on a card I have and called Holly, and Holly went from Connecticut to meet me that night at the Trump International Hotel. Okay, setting up the meeting. We negotiated back and forth. He didn't want to have you see a videotape. I wouldn't sit down with him unless it was a videotape. Now, the purpose of sitting down with Howley was that he was saying he was going to turn around and bring the Department of Justice up with Trump and Epoch Times, Trump's most trusted media source. So I'm trusting it because Trump trusts them and they intercept me. Later on, Ariel even posted this, right? How the Epoch Times was caught in the money laundering. The
Yeah.
same replacement of Stephen Gregory. How's that? And we've got Flynn again. Who's Howie? Howie, you hit the next picture. Howie was business partners with Roger Stone, the protege. Right? He covered Lewandowski when I was feeding Lewandowski evidence. That's Howie. Right?
A
If
little
that face
goofy.
is a little freaky for you, just so you know how freaky Stone is and Howley and O'Keefe and Day. I mean, these are a pack of weirdos. Hit it, Qrash. And there's more, but we're just going to show this. Our boy Howley is a bit of a weirdo. And these are communications with somebody that he's talking about a male basketball player and kicking his ass to the curb and so forth. Hey, listen, none of these guys are what you seemed they see. Right? All right, hit it, Qrash. This is just a point of nature of who they are. All right? But Howley was, and look at, let's not forget Stone. I mean, you don't get weirder than these bastards. Now, this was the meeting with Howley. Those were the tape. Now, why was it? That room was full of Chinese people. Meetings before, what even Stephen Gregory? Again, room full of Chinese people. Recording, videotape, everything I was saying and doing. Now, the promise was to send this out. It was a setup, and I read Howley. Aaron Day and O'Keefe were behind this too. Again, they're trying to get my evidence and videotape my evidence and document my evidence because they want to use it. Their investigation, they're doing it. Bullshit. They are the feds. Don't you get it? Okay, hit it. Now, Audra Toop. Let's give you a little background on Audra Toop. Audra Toop was my biggest offender for over 4 years. Audra Toop came as a victim to state of corruption. In that meeting with her, I met also, Aaron Day was there. Aaron Day was giving up every witness, everybody coming in, a whistleblower, to the feds. Hassenbecker, FBI agent Hassenbecker. Now, including Toop. Now, Toop got a phone call from a Fed as they were contacting all the whistleblowers and threatening them. Isn't that right, Hassenbecker? On tape, we have that tape. Now, what they said to Audra Toop was, if you talk to Mike Gill again, we're going to put a bullet in your head. She just recorded the phone call, and the feds charged her with federal wiretapping. They held her as hostage for 4 years, 13 states attorney, whole thing. Held her in hostage. She said it. And she said, Mike Gill saved my life multiple times. She said it. And
When you
then,
say held hostage, what exactly are you referring to?
well, they were going to charge her with, I don't know, a
They were
decade or two with federal wiretapping an agent.
they were like extorting her, or not extorting her.
Yes, held
Right.
her in place and extorted
Yeah.
her. Right. And she called herself a hostage. She was all of that.
Okay.
And I backed her up. I went to a hearing. I talked to her lawyers. I stood against these people. Anything happened to her. She was part of the negotiation. Now, let's go on with the story. That was Audra Toop. Okay, hit it. So now,
Okay.
I sent her the videotapes of me and Howley. I needed her to get them out because I was afraid to be intercepted. The other entity that I gave them to did get intercepted. That night after Harley, I came back and I put that video up that you're seeing here that O'Connell makes a point of. And the thing here is right after that was Howley interview, was showing the money laundering network, was showing in the settle agreement. It was then, that was that night. And you find out that Holly knew about O'Keefe and secretly videotaping and never, okay, you can hit it. Qrash, and never releasing it. And the point I want to make about that post then, what did Nick Elvire tell you I was in that post? One of the most important people of our time. So again, what did we find out from Elvire? That he was connected with Flynn and J6. I haven't left the circle from Howley, from O'Keefe, today, to Howley, who's connected to Stone. Back to now Flynn. Elvire wants to make a movie, right? Just like Howie doing the videotape. This is again by Flynn. Okay, hit it. Now, this is also CIA. And this whole background on the spin has to be CIA. If I won't flip and I won't alter what I'm saying, then you have to understand that the narrative have to change. Now, there's our boy Elvire, who wants to make a movie, who says he hates Flynn, who says Flynn's dead, and there he is kissing Stone in the ass. Now, if we remember Elvire connected with Michelle and Matthew, we're not out of the Flynn circle. We're back to Arizona. We're back to the meeting. These people are not out of place. All right, hit it. You understand? An operation of interception. Now, you may have to help me with this. Now, this is what Audra Toop is sending back to me before she flipped. Okay, wait a minute. But in my opinion, Howley's mission was do exactly what he's doing. I believe he's doing it for Shaheen. There's nothing honest about Howley. Howley can be not careful if he's investigated. So he's claiming Aaron Day, who's running for president so far. All right, slide that up again. Now, these are on messages with me. You hold wanted protection for the witnesses, the same witnesses, right? Demery, who's running for president. Okay, what this shows is, and what's underlying, it isn't in a case. Nobody followed it better than Audra did. She opinion, after I gave her the tape, was that it's connected to Shaheen and Aaron Day. Aaron Day was protecting Shaheen and Sununu, so that was correct. So in other words, what did I ask Howley? And what did I tell you I asked Howley? For protection of the witnesses. What did I ask for in court? Protection of witnesses. What did I do in front of the DEA? Protection of witnesses. Lullen, DOJ. I'm in Washington again, protection of witnesses. And that's the bait that Howley used. Okay, hit it. Now, we understand now. Now, Audra hasn't flipped yet. I trusted her with some of the most important evidence and information. Aaron Day, let me see.
Do you want me to read anything?
Yeah, please. I'm having a hard time reading that.
Okay, the blue is you, right?
Yes, you can read me the mine.
Okay, the blue, I'm going to start there. I believe that today, or I guess she means Aaron Day, was working with FBI exactly when you met first. That Hassenbacher meeting called out Greg as a mole just before he said he talked to Faye and Landis. Now, who's Faye? This is you. You're talking into your phone, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying this. Day and Landis, yes. I think you mean. So Hassenbacher had an interest in you to communicate with these are the people who wouldn't open a door. I'm not sure.
All right, I got this from here. What that we're saying is, right, Hassenbacher, you can take that down, is the FBI. All right? Hassenbacher is talking to Audra Toop. The FBI is talking to Toop. This is before she flipped.
I was going to say, when did she flip? Okay, so she hadn't flipped yet.
I can tell you when she flipped. That's what we're getting to. This is a timeline of what we're posting. So in other words, she's still on my side. She sees the meeting with Howley. She's posting it for me. I'm sending her the copy. We're talking on Messenger, and she's reading through what Howley was doing with Day, knowing who Day it was, because it was Aaron Day who gave her up to Hassenbacher of the FBI. FBI were calling and threatening the witnesses. As Audra Toop was threatened, the difference is she recorded it.
Okay.
Because she was suspecting it. So now she's indicted by the FBI for wiretapping. Okay, hit it. So now we've got her leveraged. And now Howley knows who she is. Now I think the next one is, okay, now think about this. Now, We've got Frank Newhouse from the Cartel one. We got Aaron Day. We got Howley. We got Audra. Isn't that an interesting grouping? Okay, hit it. Now, how they're all working Flynn and O'Keefe. There it all is. And then what she was, Audra, was a witness. Now a witness that's released by the FBI. Who released her from the FBI? It was Flynn and Howley.
Yeah.
Right. Who could have moved the feds but the feds? You
Right.
got it? That's who released her. And listen, if you hold her for 4 years, use it to leverage me. Why would you release her? Because I released it because we went over and exposed the J6 with that evidence. You're going to like the rest of this. The ball was in motion. All right, hit it, Qrash. Now, somebody I'd worked with for a couple of years, Claire Best. She was, I believe she's from England. She was a journalist and she was writing about St. Paul's, and I'm right with it. But she, you know what I kept on noticing? She kept on saying a different angle, a different angle. Really? The angles that she were posting was the angles I was giving her outside of St. Paul.
Well,
Okay,
here's the thing. How did she? Okay, you've been doing this 19 years, or at that
yeah.
point, I don't know what, but how does she have a different angle? I mean, you're the only one that's been talking about this. So
She found me through St. Paul's with this stuff. Or I'm thinking potentially, and we got to be concerned, this is CIA spin. Okay, that's the narrative. She was talking to me for years and not crediting what I'm saying or doing, but picking my brain and then trying to say, hey, it's a different way in, a different way in. Really? I'll show you another post.
because well,
But you
I was just going to say, here's what set us off. I guess the post was last night. She's saying it's a different direction, and yet it's your evidence. So
right.
it's not something someone else had.
Now you know why Rakelin's in New Hampshire. Now you know why Rakelin's with Day. They've got to rewrite the story. She writes the story, and she's writing the story, and she's taking it from what I've done, but not including it because I'm not making a deal with them. And they may have to negotiate or navigate through this. So they need an alternative story, which is what we're doing. And listen, the importance with Audra, too, what people don't understand, that ties into the Flynn. That gets you to the Department of Justice holding a woman hostage for 4 years, threatening her life, only to have her flipped to do work criminally with Flynn and Stone and Howley to turn around and cover up the laundering network and the corruption in the state of New Hampshire. How's that?
And
So they
this,
can, right. So
well,
all of what they've been doing is to intercept. This was the birth of all those pieces. This was intercepting me to Flynn.
and this Claire Best person, that it doesn't say her name on that tweet, but you say that's her.
Yeah.
She's gathered your information. You guys were talking
Yes.
back and forth, and I saw another tweet of hers that she said you're using her information. How can that
Right.
be?
Well, yeah, her from England who walked into this around what,
One,
2021.
yeah.
Right. But that's what they have to do.
Okay.
That's the interception. All right. Now what? Hit it. I'll show you why. We'll keep going telling the story. Listen, this is evidence. These are pieces. Now, you ready? Now, I'm telling you that they intercepted Audra too, right? The connection to Howie, then that's the Flynn and Stone come in. And what did I catch? A communication between Audra too and General Flynn. That's when I was catching her. I went to Boston after J6 to report Flynn and the insurrection team to the DOJ and the FBI, and Audra Troop was going to videotape me going there. She flipped, and all of a sudden she spun. I said, "Uh-oh, something happened." And immediately after that, this happened. Audra Troop, why would you assume I care? He didn't block me, so I'm good. Look, Roger Stone, glad to see you're here. Hope you are doing okay. I know everything you have said about your situation is true. God bless you. That the FBI's holding him for hostage. They got him out of hostage. You don't think it's possible? Flynn's best buddy and Stone's best buddy, Patel, is now the fucking director. of the FBI.
Right.
How's that for a marriage? See, that's what I'm saying. That's
So
how you flip a witness. Think about this. What did Roger Stone have to do with Audra Toop? You know
that's
why
what
Audra
I, yeah.
Toop came to me for? Corruption with well and septic,
Oh,
not cartels. Okay, hit it. You'll see for yourself.
well, wait a minute. Okay, so does that the time she flipped right there? Like, I mean, like it
Yeah,
was
just
in that
before
area.
that, right.
Okay,
As
so
soon as I went to have that videotape, I couldn't go to the DOJ and FBI without somebody videotaping. The one person I would trust to do that was her. And when she refused and she went off the reservation, I went, uh-oh.
and then
And
why would Roger come in and be like, "Hey, God bless you"? What's that about? I mean, like, how does he just come into that message or that thread, and why is he involved? I mean, did Flynn send
because
him?
he knows that she's working with them.
Okay, so
That's Flynn. That's what they have. That's Holly. That's all of them. Listen, if you're going to use Mike Gill's evidence, intercept the person he sent it to and have them look like she's figuring it out. Listen, she didn't
okay,
figure out bullshit. She was a
gotcha.
septic tank.
Okay, gotcha. So, calm down,
And,
Mike. Calm
and,
down.
and how about this? You ready? I discussed it briefly in the last words with Claire Best. In fact, if you want to read the last part of that.
You mean the blue part here?
Yes. So in
Oh,
other words, know this. Claire
it's
Best is a
yours.
very smart woman. Okay? No doubt about it. A
You,
journalist, a writer, the whole thing. She's going to write a story. But you can't tell me you don't know Audra Toop and that she just repeated everything that I had. She didn't leave her apartment. The only thing she ever did was meet me one time in the office and Erin Day was there. That's it. Okay, hit it, Qrash.
or you want me to read this, or do you want me
Yes,
to go?
please.
Okay, so this is you again in the blue, and
Yes.
I love this because you talk into your phone, so I might mess it up.
I know. Do the best you can.
Alex Walker was my lawyer and friend for over 10 years. I never knew the power he wielded. I believe his representation of church gave him that power. He never spoke of it ever. He did he represent who's Edward Arsenault? Who's that?
That's another lead to a child trafficker.
Okay. So you're asking, did he represent, and you're talking to Audra, right?
No,
No,
I'm
no,
talking to Claire Best.
this is
So what
Claire.
I'm establishing now is, right, I'm talking with Claire Best for over 2.5 years, giving her the information. This is child trafficking.
Right.
This is Catholic Medical Center. This is Alex Walker. So I'm just trying to tell you, she's coming up with all this shit. This is what I'm telling her. Okay, hit the next one. You don't have to redirect. But that's the connection.
Okay.
All right, now watch this now. See, in other words, I go from helping her, feeding her, right? And then she turns around and has this insight. Could you blow that up a little bit? That she's figuring out what changed. Let me see. Granite State Realty. Oh, like in recovery and all that stuff. Hey, listen, I called that out. Let's hit it again. You blow that up.
Well, then it goes off the screen, but you
All
got
right.
Granite Realty LLC is Ghislaine Maxwell.
Right.
Red Granite
Red Granite. It's Aganos, LLCs, Gamble, Glenn
Gambit.
Perlow. Perlow was the banking commissioner that's on my 50 million. Prospective trust is what I gave the feds. Jordan Park is who I said bought prospective trust. The banking commissioner, New Hampshire Trust and LLCs, the commissioners on my settlement. The Treasury Inspector General's office is TICA. They're the ones recording. So in other words, again, interception of how she's saying from a different angle. That is my angle. All right, hit it, Qrash.
Now, was that tweet yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because
So when she's saying I'm coming from a different angle and she prints all that shit as her angle, that's me.
It's your
That's the 50.
right.
And listen, I don't give a who takes credit. I care about ending this. But when you turn around and do this spin job, it's for a purpose. And as it can, and it is the DOJ, it is the CIA. In other words, if we're dealing with the same enemy, just with different management. Did we have anything?
Yeah, I think I missed one because they all look alike. But let me put up what I. Okay, so you were going through.
I think you missed the one with Claire Best at the end when I went to Claire.
We
Oh,
didn't,
you can pop that up too.
we,
Expand that. When I went to Claire, that said, "Listen, if you're turning around and supporting Audra Toop and what she's saying, I know who you are. Stop. I'm going to block you. Stop sharing my stuff. Stop talking to me." Now we got Audra Toop, Claire Base, and ready, Mike Grundell connected with them from the beginning. Let me put you why Grundell's so interested in all this, okay? And he was all on the team. Grundell owned Planet Fitness. Okay, Qrash. Owned Planet Fitness. That's the cartel, remember? How is it that they're all still together? You want money laundering? That's it. He's connected Audra Tube as the witness, as Claire Best, as reporting it. Now listen, we know that Grundell is dealing with Flynn. We know that Michelle even said that Grundell had lunch with Juan. Grundell was the guy I was sending the J6 evidence to from December 18th to January 7th. Grundell is not only a key cartel witness, money laundering witness, but the insurrection witness. And he goes back to Claire Best. So if that's not the CIA, if that's not the feds, if that's not Flynn, who the hell is it all?
they're all connected. I mean,
To a breath.
and then we have Michelle talking to Mike Grundell as well. It's like, it's all.
And then we have Ariel saying Planet Fitness
Right.
is drug distribution. How the hell does he know if it's not from Grundell, who's talking to Flynn, who puts Flynn and Ariel on the same team? I don't care if this bullshit, I hate you and you hate me. It's bullshit. It's one team. One team. It's us and them. White hats, black hats, it's all bullshit. It's common sense. It's greed. And here's this, ready? Anybody get audited from the Senate or the Congress? Don't
Not
tell
yet.
us you don't have time. Don't tell us it doesn't cost. Don't tell us we don't have a right to know when you just threw Menendez in jail for 11 years dealing with Syria, and gold bars. And we got Senator Shaheen off like a prom dress. Isn't that a coincidence? Listen, and we got Sununu, and they're using AOT to block the exit. And then all of a sudden, the same exit with AOT, you get Raiklen with Day. Day's the one who got AOT beat and took credit for it. Now they're buddies again. It doesn't matter Republicans or Democrats. That's the bigger lie than white hats and black hats. They all suck. There's you. That's it.
Tell us how you really feel, Mike.
Yeah, well, I tell them how I feel to their face, on camera and off the camera. Best stuff you've never seen. Just trust me, the best stuff you've never seen. They don't know how to handle in your face. And listen, I'm being honest, I'm being straight, and you're seeing it. You're seeing how it happened. You see, Aaron Day, the piece of shit, ran for president. He's in the Bitcoin business, money laundering business. Did they not tell you? Raiklen told you how important I was. Yeah. All I had to do was say, see, you know what I could have done for them all? Not only covered up all their bullshit, but I could have legitimized them. Here's a whistleblower, right? Here he is, the most important one. And all I had to do was say, I was working with Flynn the whole time. He had it. Yep, he had it. He had it there. And you know what they would have done? Opened the doors to the IRS and the Treasury. Hey, Mike, you know that money we stole from you? Here you go, brother. And we know that from the Nino show, and that's exactly what happened. And one said, don't give that away. We're using that to buy you off.
Yeah, exactly.
I managed to shoot the pooch every fucking time. Every time it looks like I'm getting paid, getting up, I have a way of fucking it up, going, oh, you gotta tell them again.
Yeah.
Well, the sheep just keep following these assholes, and who the hell knows what happens from here?
Right.
So,
and just recapping, what you're feeling, and I'm seeing like the pieces falling in place. These like Flynn, and they're gonna kind of hijack your information and bring it out on their own.
Right. And somehow have me disappear from here and because this shit's going to be a lot easier if I'm not around. What are you going to turn around and miss the headline? 274 million from the cartel. And we find out, wait a minute, they're the fucking cartel? They took his money and they were the cartel? Meaning the poor bastard was trying to save our asses? Yeah. While you cowardly pricks did nothing and you were watching your children die? Right. I put their asses on signs. You bet your ass I did. Did I know I was going to lose in court? What court? Who was telling you it was corrupt than me? I wasn't going to beat him in court. I figured I was going to be murdered. And three
Yeah.
out of 13 days, and you met Kill Gill. That would have been number 4. You could see that they were serious about murdering my ass. And that same DOJ wasn't coming to the fucking rescue. Only when I put Lullen on camera and delivered the evidence, tied to the Treasury, that they said, wait a minute, if there's an investigation, someone might go to Lullen and go, hey, what did you do with all this?
Yeah.
Now that's my explanation why I'm alive. And every now and then when we do a podcast, I go, boy, this might be tipping the scale.
Yeah, and I'm worried for you. So
Yeah. But well, we'll see. Hey, listen, I'm 69 years old. I'm playing this baby out.
yeah.
And
So
this is what, and I'll leave you guys with this. I hear people turning around and they were posting my home and the lake house and things, even just today. I want everybody to know I don't miss any of those things. I was never that guy. I was to turn around and play catch with the kids, and I was successful in doing it. But listen, what you lose is you lose time. That's what they took from me. 19 years not seeing my grandchildren, never meeting them. That's what was never money. It was never stuff. Listen, do you know what made me dangerous? I didn't give a fuck. Meaning I took chances the other guy wouldn't. Because I wasn't afraid of being poor or being broke. I lived my life that way. I took risks and chances that nobody would take. And that's how you hit a home run. Now, I hit those home runs and I did it. But as far as it's my children in the time that I missed. That's what I stole. I don't want you to think ever about any of this about money. If it was about money, and again, I'll leave you with this. The guy about money doesn't risk the money that he has, right?
right.
If he's worth 300 and 400 million, he's not doing it for money, folks. And if he puts that on the table to lose it, he's not going to sell out for money because he already had it. So you know what the theory here is? Take what he's got and then seal if he deals with you. You took everything, yeah. Then take more. Take his kids. Have him so that he has nothing. Isolate. And then see if you'll deal. And what did I tell the judge who put me in for 10 days? Go fuck yourself. All
Yeah.
right, Qrash.
All right. Well, so did Elon said that to people. He said that.
Hey, that might be my official sign off from now on in. And listen, am I pissed? You're damn right I'm pissed.
Yep. You have a right reason to be. All right.
All right, Qrash. Thanks.